Yes, it is I am he. My name is JeffLightsyJr. This is the Victor Formation Sports Show on game day of week 0. Put in the chat, please enter the chat. Let me know who you are, where you're from, what school you represent, because it is game day of week 0, the SWAC MEAC Challenge, Jackson State, South Carolina State. You guys are down there in Atlanta. I'm here at home. I'm going to watch it. Yeah, we got SWAC fan in the building. We've got Who in the building. Lee is here. Come on into the chat. Also, as you come into the chat, hit that thumbs up button. Hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, because we have our SWAC MEAC Challenge preview. We're going to be talking about the two teams. I want to hear from you guys. We've got FAMU in the building. Christopher Dukes in the building. Thank you all for all tuning in, because this is an exciting day. College football is back, people. College football is back. We're going to talk about it. Let your friends know that we're live here and that I want to hear from you guys after the bumper. Stay tuned. What up, world? What is going on, everybody? Yes, it is SWAC MEAC Challenge Day. Yes, it is the day. What is going on, Katrina? How you doing, Katrina? We've got Lee in the building. What is going on, Lee? Everybody. Now, it's the SWAC MEAC Challenge Day. It is Jackson State. It's FAMU. It's Atlanta. It's the big day. We've got the game going on tonight. Everything is going to be popping. I cannot wait to see the game. 7:30 ABC, first HBCU game. It's going to be a big time environment in Atlanta. It's hot. It's cooking. It's two of the premier teams in both the leagues. South Carolina State, the 2021 Celebration Bowl champions, and coming off a 3-8 season, looking to bounce back. You've got JSU, the two-time reigning defending SWAC champions, represented the SWAC in the Celebration Bowl both in 2022 and in 2021. They're looking to come back and make some things happen and prove a lot of doubters wrong, because we know there's been a lot of turnover in that program. We've got Bulldog pride, because I need to hear from the South Carolina State fans. If there's any South Carolina State fans out there, I need to hear from you, because I took a poll on my here YouTube, this YouTube, JeffLightsy Jr., and it was a resounding number of the people who believe that JSU will win this game. This is going to be such an amazing game for multiple reasons. Like I said, there's so many storylines going into this game. One, you have actually, and as you come into the room, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, man. You guys have been awesome supporting the channel. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Now, going into this game, there's so many storylines that we have to talk about. And I want to hear from you all. Yes, drop the, oh, yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to do that. Trust me, we're going to do that. I got to hear from you. I just got to get a couple of points out first. First, we know that this is a rematch of the 2021 Celebration Bowl. We know the last time these two teams played, South Carolina State. This is Jackson State. This is South Carolina State. Just the hammer. It was one was the hammer and the other was the nail, and they beat the hell out of Jackson State. We know that 31-10. You can't escape that. The MEAC has a winning record in both Celebration Bowls and in SWAC MEAC challenges. This is what we do know. We know that Jackson State is looking for revenge, albeit most of these players did not play in that 2021 Celebration Bowl. These players have heard about that 2021 Celebration Bowl. These players have watched the highlights of that Celebration Bowl, and Coach Buddy Pough is still the head coach over there at South Carolina State, as he was during that 2021 Celebration Bowl. We also know that South Carolina State has a ton of players that did play in that 2021 Celebration Bowl, including their quarterback, Corey Fields Jr. So that is one storyline going into this game. The other storyline is Buddy Pough announced earlier this week that he will be retiring at the end of the season. That matters. That matters, because it's not that South Carolina State didn't want to win this game. Of course they wanted to win this game. They always wanted to win this game. But now they have a little bit more motivation. They have just an incy-wincy bit more of motivation to win for Pough. To win for their coach. They have that much more motivation. Now that their coach has announced that he will no longer be coaching after the season, he's put in 22 long, hard years 8 MEAC championships, 3 Black College National Championships, including that 2021 Celebration Bowl, a number of guys in the NFL, 3-time All-Pro Darius Leonard, big contract guy Javon Hargraves, defensive back for the LA Rams, Jacoby Durant, and it looks like Shaq Davis is going to make that roster down in New Orleans. Now, I don't know what the excuses are. I don't know what you're talking about. Excuses. What excuses? These are the facts. These are what they're playing for. So in South Carolina State, they also are playing for the fact that they had a very disappointing 2021 year. They went 3-8 last year. After winning a Black College National Championship, they followed that up by going 3-8 with the starting quarterback coming back. Follow the OGN Sports free tickets to the game of the week. That'd be awesome. Shout out to OGN Sports. Can you imagine if Buddy Pough beats Jackson again? I mean, if he beats him again, the Jackson State fans is going to pack up his bags in Orangeburg for him. They can't wait to see him get up out of there if he wins this game again. I mean, if he wins this game again, especially with it being his last chance at a SWAC MEAC win, especially with this being his last season, especially with as many Jackson State fans are going to be in Center Park Stadium today in Atlanta, with especially all of these people rooting in for JSU. And see, the thing about JSU, and they have their own storylines. This is Coach TC Taylor's first game. What's going on with my guy, Deputy Mario? What is going on? This is TC Taylor's first game. This is the start of the TC era. This is the start of the guard the yard era. This is the start of the win for TC era. This is the time for him to put his stamp on this program early in his career, early in his era. It's also a time to finally get all of the talk about Deion Sanders out of the building. It's finally time for TC to be like, hey, this is my program. This is the way I'll be running things, and this is what we'll look like. See, for right now, all people can base it off of is what they see on social media and talking about what happened in the past, meaning all the players that left, the Deion's gone, that there's no more allure around Jackson State that they once had in their eyes, right? So now it's time to give the people something to talk about. Now it's time to actually show we play football here in Jackson. And the beautiful thing about Jackson State is they continue to show their social media efforts. South Carolina State won't win today. JSU has plenty of film on this team. And so that is one way to look at it, because there is film on this current South Carolina State team. There is a huge question mark about Jackson State. We don't know about the guys at JSU. They're all mostly new. They're all mostly transfers. They're all mostly going to be something different. It's going to be guys that we haven't seen play before, at least not at this level, at least not, and especially not at these schools. And so it's going to be interesting, all of the differences between the two schools. Now, to the naked eye, and here's the call-in number, because now I've gotten off my soapbox. You guys can call in 727-731-8723. I want to hear from you. 727-731-8723. Listen, now this is funny, because this is what most SWAC fans, the MEAC, who is 6-1 in Celebration Bowls, will say, hey, they always get a month to study the teams. They get 2 to 3 weeks to study our teams in those Celebration Bowls. They're able to get healthy. They're able to look at our film. They're able to make that happen. They don't get that. We're on equal playing field in this game. Well, the MEAC has dominated this game too. If this game has been played 15 times, the MEAC has won 11 of them. So they dominated this game. Can JSU make it 2 in a row for the SWAC? You remember last year, Alabama State played in this very same game. There was 1,000,001 weather delays, but they were able to get the win over Howard. So JSU is looking to make it 2 in a row. 2 in a row. Now, I'm doing what kind of excuses? I'm confused. What are the excuses? I'm still trying to find these excuses. It's going to be interesting. And if you want to tell me what they are, there's the number on the screen. The number on the screen for anybody that wants to get in here. I'm specifically want to hear from anybody rooting for South Carolina State. And here's why. Because I took a poll. Now, you could say my YouTube post is slanted, right? You can say, oh, there's more JSU fans that watch your show and that will vote in a poll like this than there are South Carolina State fans. That's fine. I'm just trying to and this is no disrespect to South Carolina State. I'm just trying to find some more of your fans. I'm trying to find some more of them, because it's hard not just to find your fans. It's online anyway. It is also hard to find coverage and footage of your team. Besides, shout out to Tuck and shout out to Kobe or the CFL Blitz City. They're the only two people talking about South Carolina State. Literally the only two. What's going on? You're on with Jeff.
Terry.
How you doing, Terry? What's going on?
I'm doing pretty good. What it is more like excitement, JSU, due to the fact, one, the other teams don't know what we have. We don't really know what kind of weapons. We've heard bits and pieces and seen bits and pieces, but we really, truly don't know what kind of dogs we have. Because I just got through watching Texas, TSU, and Southern games. Southern got a problem. They ain't got 2 picks already. TSU is doing some stuff. So TSU, if we play them this year, we got to watch out for them. But they really don't.
That might have. Hold on, Terry. Terry, are you talking about you're watching that game on HBCU Go?
Yeah.
Yes, that's the game from last year. This will be the official kickoff to this season. So that game's from last season.
Okay. Well, because I'm going to say something got pop over there.
I got you. I appreciate you calling in, though, Terry.
You're welcome. We can't wait to see the homecoming.
Absolutely. I'll be there for homecoming. Thank you so much. No, but Terry does make a point. JSU guys, it's going to be the first time we get to see them actually on the field. What's going on? You're on with Jeff.
This Pastor Vic. How you doing there, baby?
Hey, I'm doing good, Vic. What's on your mind?
Not much, man. I'm here to spread the name of SCSU loud and proud, Bulldog all the way. Win for Coach Pough. I feel a win on tonight, brother.
A win on tonight. Hey, Pastor Vic, I'm not one to the spoil what you got going on. What makes you think they'll beat JSU today? Why do you think they'll win today?
I think not only the fact of Coach Pough retiring, man, but it's the Bulldog tenacity that we live and breathe by, man. It's Buddy Pough, man. It's our standard, man. Defense win games, man, and just the fight that we have. I believe that we have that to beat JSU today. I'm not going to discount that this is going to be a very good game. It's going to be a very good game. We're going to see a lot of things from both teams on tonight. But South Carolina State will win this game on tonight.
Okay, Pastor Vic, before I get you out of here, just give me a score prediction for South Carolina State. What score you think they're going to have?
It's going to be a close game. It's going to be a very close game. I'm going with 21-17.
21-17. You heard it here first, man. I appreciate you, Pastor Vic. Thank you, sir.
Right. Blessings,
no doubt. Hey, 21-17. He ain't predicting no blowout, but he is predicting a Bulldog victory. What's going on? You're on with Jeff.
Hey, this is the Orange G from the Orange G SWAC Sports Network. What's good, brother Jeff?
Hey, everything is all good over here, sir. How you doing?
All right, 06 to the good bros. First off,
sir.
New Side chapter back in spring line of 94.
Okay.
But anyway, brother. Hey, yeah, I ain't trying to put my promo out there like that, man. But my channel, I do a little stuff different. I do give out tickets to the game of the week, and this week is Prairie View versus Texas Southern for the Labor Day Classic. But you got to know your SWAC history. So if you call in or you come up to my show, you don't know your SWAC history, you ain't gonna get them tickets. But let's get to this game here. Coach Buddy Pough, great career, great achievements. You've been there 20-some years. But listen, my brother, in South Carolina State, y'all will not have all 6 or 7 coaches in a huddle trying to figure out a game plan to stop Deion Sanders. This is a different team this year. We know what y'all did. And y'all know I'm not lying. South Carolina gave North Carolina North Carolina Central the blueprint. That's how those teams was able to beat Jackson State. And I'm not a Jackson State homer. I'm nobody's homer. If you look at my page, every school on my wall can get it. But I'm telling you this right now. You see, Taylor, and I hope somebody from Jackson State is really listening. Either you show up, show out, or you sit down and sit out. That's the only 4 choices you got for this game. This is real life here. Because Jeff, I'm not a fan of these challenges in Atlanta or or New Orleans, any of these places. I'm a conference player person that wants to see these games in the stadium. I want these games to be played in the stadiums. It's all about finance. You know how much money about to be spent in Atlanta this weekend?
A whole lot.
In the millions. So you mean to tell me Jackson couldn't get them millions, or wherever South Carolina couldn't get them millions? And don't tell me about the crowd. I don't want to hear that. I want every SWAC school to pack out their stadium. not just for first game and homecoming. I want to see every stadium packed out. I got 6 games that I'm going to. And every game that I go to, I'm recording to see these crowds so I can go back and tell you, shut up, your school sucks, you don't support them. Because you got a 30,000 seat stadium and it's only 17,000 people there. Oh, and FAMU, don't miss FAMU, that's what I'm starting calling y'all. The anointed champions of the SWAC. Since Deion Sanders left, we gonna win the SWAC. You got a stadium and you can't even get 20,000 people in there for a regular season game. And I ain't talking about homecoming. Instead of you building that pavilion for all them 19 million, you should have used that money on NIL and got you some real players. And I'm out.
I appreciate it, man. This man just came for the whole SWAC now. He literally just came for he came for FAMU, Southern, heck, even JSU. He said he's rooting for JSU, but he said it's shut up or put up. It's put up or shut up. It's put up or shut up. Because in all reality, it is that. It's for JSU, it is time, because here's the thing about Jackson State and their fans. They're so rabid. It's so many of them. They're so deep. They're so passionate, so loyal. They're all over social media. Is that it's almost like all encompassing. It's almost like they overwhelm you. It's almost like for every one fan you have, whatever school you are, they have like 5, a 8, a 10, a 12. So for whatever one fan you have, it's like 12 of them. It's like getting jumped every time you put something out. And now this is finally an opportunity for them and their coach and their team and their players. They're all new players, by the way, to finally get a chance to prove themselves. To finally get a chance to go out there and show what they're able to bring, to finally show that, hey, we are able to sustain and keep a high-level program even after we lose a high-profile coach. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm lying. There's the number on the screen, 727-731-8723. I was listening to Scotty and G this week, and G, who's been a SWAC fan his whole life, he's an Alcorn guy. He said, yo, JSU was terrible before Brian. He came on there and said, yo, they were terrible before Deion for like 20 years. He said, I'm 32. I hadn't seen them win anything. They won 2 championships in 30 years of life, 29 years of life, up until Deion, and they won 2 more championships. So this is what's going to be interesting. How does the TC Taylor era start? I mean, you already starting off on a high note. P. Diddy's coming through. He's bringing the $1 million check. He's coming to watch the game. He's going to talk to your team before the game. He possibly is going to run out with the team. So now it's put up or shut up. The number's on the screen, 727-731-8723, 727-731-8723. And so with that, you got Diddy. You're going to have his money. You're going to have him behind you. He's going to be turned up with you. He's going to be riding high with you. What are you going to be able to do? What is your offense going to look like? Who is going to be QB1? Is it Jason Brown? Is it Jacobian Morgan? Is it Phillip Short? Is it Zion McDonald? I really think it's between Jason Brown and Jacoby Morgan. But who's going to be the QB1? Who's going to trot out there first? All of these things matter. It's going to be interesting to see. What's going on your own with Jeff?
Yeah, I'm Cedric. I'm from Jackson, Mississippi.
What's going on, Cedric?
No much, Jeff. I listen to y'all all the time, man. I just wanted to call in and chime in with you.
I appreciate it. What's on your mind, Cedric? What's on your mind?
I've been to a couple different practices, like on the sneak peek side at JSU.
Okay.
And maybe 5 or 6, different occasions throughout the summer up until maybe last week. And man, just from what I see, they fast, man. They move fast, and the offense is super fast. So unless South Carolina State got a lot of extra subs and a lot of depth, it's going to be a problem. You most definitely will see a fast-paced game tonight. I give you that one.
And I completely agree with you. I agree with you. If you look at offensive coordinator Maurice Harris's background, he comes from that Liberty, Ole Miss, Hugh Freeze offense that runs high tempo, high fast-paced offense. So yeah, I'm interested to see what it looks like for JSU today.
Right. I just want to make my prediction while I'm on here.
Yeah, talk to me. I need all score predictions.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my blue and white glasses off before I say this. It's gonna be just strictly football. I go JSU 42 to maybe 21. It's not gonna be close.
You think JSU gonna score 42 points? You think they're gonna beat them like that? Yeah. 42 points, beat them by 3 touchdowns?
I'm gonna say this, Jeff. It's gonna be multiple. It's gonna be some special teams scoring. I'm and like it's gonna get out to a slow start, maybe, but once the offense get going, they not gonna be able to catch their breath. Cause when I tell you they go fast, Jeff, let's say a guy catch a pass, he getting up off the ground like it's a hurry up offense every down. I'm serious. Every down is desperation speed out there, even in the first quarter or whatever down it may be. So I just want to call in my 3 touchdown SWAC rule victory. JSU.
Appreciate you, Cedric. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Right.
Cedric makes a good point. Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to cut him off. Cedric makes a good point because that tempo offense, what will it look like? Can South Carolina State adjust? Will it be able to score? But see, because the thing about tempo, the thing about running tempo offenses, it's that sometimes it can be a blessing and a curse. Because if you're tempo offense, you can hurry up and put your if you're not successful, you can do your defense a disservice by running 3 plays really fast and going 3 and out, or running 3 or 4 or 5 plays really fast and going 3 and out, 4 and out, 5 and out. You know what I mean? Like being real quick, and now your defense is back on the field. And it say South Carolina State has a long, because you know they're gonna come and try to play some Smashmouth football. They have 3 good running backs from what I've been told, and hit you in the mouth, And even if they don't score, or if they just get a field goal, you try your offense back out there and you go 3 and out really fast. And then South Carolina has an 8, 9, 10, 12 play drive, and your defense is back out there. You get what I'm saying? Like, so it can be if you're not scoring, but if you're scoring, if you run that tempo and you're able to put up some points and you are putting that pressure on the other team by scoring touchdowns, by scoring points, by making them play, by making them hurry up, making them have to do a lot of substitutes and rotating a bunch of players, guys starting to get tired, guys start to get dehydrated. It's supposed to be 110 degrees in Atlanta today. It's supposed to be a heat index in Atlanta is very, very high. Very, very high. Tempo, conditioning, rotational players, all of that plays a factor when you're playing against this style of offense and you're playing against a team that can run tempo. And if they're successful, I don't think it's secrets. People have been saying was going to be fast all year. It's not about it being a secret. It's just about how you adjust to it. Do you adjust to it? What's going on? You're on with Jeff.
Willie.
What's going on, Willie? What's on your mind?
What's going on, Jeff? It's been a minute since we talked. Like,
yes, sir. How you doing, sir?
I've been doing good. I've been watching all your stuff. Man, I just have to say, man, first of all, before I get into what I want to say, Jeff, thank you for being balanced and honest and foregoing and sticking with the SWAC, not only the SWAC with Jackson State, and covering everything we need to hear. I really appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you.
I think I'm speaking for a lot of people, a lot of your subscribers. But I just want people to just to buckle up, get ready for this MEAC ass whooping Jackson State gonna put on. Yeah, we're gonna start in Atlanta, we're gonna finish in Atlanta. You know, and this is what I want to say. See, I done took names. I done took names off of Scotty's show, off your show. Your show and Scotty's show had the most DDR primate haters in any other program. Yeah, you know it. So I'm going to tell you, y'all mark my word. I done took names and put them on a bulletin board on a little whiteboard in my room that I have for other stuff. But I took names. Yeah. I know y'all names, and I know your names. But now I know I'm not going to hear. We're going to lose 1/3 of them after this game, after this ass whoop. After the third game, none of those haters are going to call in. None of those eggplant riders is going to call in. They're not going to call in with that foolishness no more. Then we just have to deal with Alcorn silly delusional asses. But after the third game, after we whoop these Bulldogs ass, then we go and skin that rattlesnake, and we move on to that old all-color blue Scoreless University. After we whoop that ass, you ain't gonna hear no more from these haters. And I got some more for you. You coming on after tonight's show, after tonight's game, Jeff?
Yeah, I should be back on after tonight. Yes. Yeah,
I got a little bit more, but I appreciate you taking my call. And y'all haters, y'all gonna be sick all year. And I'm gonna be one of the ones that gonna rub it in because you ain't nothing but haters. Thank you, Jeff.
I appreciate you, Willie. Hey, I appreciate it, man. I cannot wait to see it. If I don't come on tonight, I'll be on Monday. But we'll have to see what's going on. You're on with Jeff.
Please announce yourself.
It's Dominique.
Cut your computer down a little bit. What's going on?
How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. What's going on with you? What's on your mind?
Mine. I had a good day today, kid, folks.
Hey, hello, man. We can't really hear you. Your audio's off a little bit. We're gonna have to call back in though. Call back in because your audio's off a little bit. We got to keep it going. Now, what's going on? You're on with Jeff.
Troy.
What's going on, Troy? What's on your mind?
Hey, man. I was listening to your show just a few minutes ago.
Talk to me.
I had that caller talking. Well, I heard you talking about that fast-paced offense that Jackson State will put on South Carolina State. Hey, man, I'm sorry to tell you, same results. South Carolina, same results.
What you mean? What you mean? Just for the people that don't know, what do you mean? Be specific.
What did I mean?
Yeah.
The same results that Coach Pough put up on them on Jackson in 2021, they're gonna be the same results.
Ooh. So you said 31-10. Why 30? Why do you think it's gonna be 31-10?
Well, I give you 31-10 on a luxury, but South Carolina State is loaded with talent. Just think about it now. This the same exact team, same exact offensive line that's coming back from that 2021 season. And remember, a lot of those guys were freshmen.
Yeah, this is also a team that went 3-8 2022. They went 3-8 2022, right?
Yeah, they went 3-8 2022. But you coming off a big high, like they beat it Jackson State in the Celebration Bowl. That was a big high for them. Coach Pough said it. His team was overconfident last year, and you know he's leaving this year right here. This is the last coaching ride.
It is.
So you know what those Bulldogs will do for him. They're not gonna leave the legendary hanging out there by himself.
Hey, I feel you. Okay, man. Hey, man, I appreciate you. So what is your score prediction? If you said 31-10 is the look, what is your exact score position? Let me know.
My exact score prediction of that game.
Yeah, this game tonight. 24-0.
24-0.
24-0. Hey, man. Well, I appreciate you calling in, man. Thank you so much. 24-0 South Carolina. The Bulldogs are coming out. They letting me know that they win in this game. What's going on? You're on with Jeff.
Hey, brother Jeff. How you doing? It's Chris Tapp, San Antonio, Texas. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing good, Chris. What's on your mind?
Hey, man, those Bulldogs is going to bite the neck.
Talk to me.
Those Bulldogs is going to bite the neck of that tiger, and that's what it's going to be. So here's the score right now.
Talk to me.
I got South Carolina State 21, and I got Jackson State 12. I think it's going to be a defensive game. I love T.C. Taylor and the new regime at Jackson State, but when you look at Buddy Pough and that seasoned coaching staff, they cannot outcoach those. They can outcoach those Jackson State coaches. That's all I gotta say.
So you think the coaching staff is what's gonna make the major difference? You think the experience of the staff is what's gonna make a major difference?
Absolutely, because you will not sit back and watch the team throughout the years called the New England Patriots. Yeah, they had some talented players. I mean, those guys made the Pro Bowl Hall of Fame, but that coaching staff they had outcoached the other team. Plus, that guy named Tom Brady. So the way I see it is, the way I see it is, Jackson State has always been reign supreme, a blue blood. but so has South Carolina State. And South Carolina State has always been underestimated in HBCU, also Division I AA college football. So let's call it what it is.
Hey.
The Bulldogs gonna win. I love Jackson State. I love TC Taylor, but not today, Doc.
I got you. Hey, man. So just score prediction one more time. Get it for me one more time before you get out of here.
21-12.
21-12. You heard it. Hey, I appreciate you calling in, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, Jeff, appreciate you and everything you're doing, brother. Have a good one.
Yes, sir. You too. Now he makes a very good point. That coaching staff thing is real. We saw Buddy Pough put up a masterclass in that 2021 Celebration Bowl. He put up a masterclass because it wasn't the final score was 31-10. But going into halftime, it was not that. Jackson State didn't score another point after halftime. They went into halftime with 10 points. They finished the game with 10 points. South Carolina State is known for having defenses that put guys in the league. Put NFL players in the league. That coaching staff is real. That is something that some people may not have taken into consideration. South Carolina State, run left, run right, play. You saying that playbook is super basic like that? Is the playbook that basic? We beat JSU on run left, run right. I love it. If you got something to say, if you think something differently, first of all, thank to you all you guys that are in here. We got a couple of hundred strong. Hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button, share button, subscribe button. If you want to get in here and let me know who your predictions, I want to hear from you guys. Your predictions on today's 2023 SWAC MEAC Challenge or MEAC SWAC Challenge. I always say it wrong. It's the MEAC SWAC Challenge today at Center Park in Atlanta. I know a lot of you are already there. Tell me who's going to win and why. South Carolina State versus JSU. South Carolina State is 3-2 all time. Can JSU tie it up, or will South Carolina State go up 4-2 in this matchup? Super basic offensive line. South Carolina State beat them because of Deion's arrogance. Okay, but I think coaching, you don't think coaching went into that a little bit? Like, you don't think the experience, the 20 years behind Buddy Pough matters? You're talking about a 20-plus year head coach going against a first-year head coach. You're talking about a guy that's won 8 MEAC championships, 3 Black national championships, versus a guy who was coaching his first ever game. These are things that do matter. We can't act like they don't matter. You're talking about a quarterback in Corey Fields over there at South Carolina State, who's been a starter for 4 years? 3 years? He's a 3-year starter. Versus Jason Brown or Jacoby Morgan. This will be their first year starting at Jackson State. This is going to be interesting. That's why you have depth. Okay, that's why you have depth. You can call. Now, I took a poll. Now, once again, you guys can be like, man, Jeff, your polls are slanted. Your polls don't matter. It's a bunch of JSU fans. Well, I just want to show you the results of my poll. I took my poll, and this is what it came down to. With 998 votes, right here, 998 votes, 82% believe Jackson State will win this game. 18% believe South Carolina State is going to win this game. Now, I don't know about y'all, but that is about as lopsided as you can get with nearly 1,000 votes. Nearly 1,000 votes. And then over on my Twitter, not nearly as many votes, but in 83 votes, 73% of them went to Jackson State. Now, you can say, hey, Jeff, you have a biased broadcast. Hey, Jeff, you have slanted callers or slanted participants. I won't disagree with you on that. But that's why I'm asking the South Carolina State fans to call in and let me know about their team, to call in and let me know how wrong I am or how wrong the JSU fans are. Like, let me know. Because here's the thing about South Carolina State. We talk about how much of a mystery JSU is because they have a ton of new players. They had a lot of roster turnover, and hopefully this will be the last time we actually talk about all the roster turnover. Okay, we get it. They have new players. But one thing we do know about JSU is that they put out content of their guys. They put out content. You see videos of freshmen making plays. You see videos of Jason Brown, of Jacoby Morgan, of Kobe Paul, of Rico Powers, of Seven McGee. You see these videos of these guys. They do a great job. Shout out to ASVP. Mr. Austin does a great job of showing content. Then you have creators that are there at JSU. Ken Clark in 1400 Media. Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club. She Loves D. Doc Holliday. A bunch of guys. Hell, you can even throw myself in there. A bunch of guys that cover what's going on in Jackson, Mississippi. South Carolina State, there's not a lot of that. There's not it's just not. There's not a lot of video surfacing of their practices. There's not a lot of content creators talking about what they have going on. So just as much as Jackson State is a mystery, South Carolina State is pretty much a mystery too. Outside of Corey Fields and just knowing the pedigree and history of their coach, them as a team, they're pretty much a mystery. Like they're pretty much like, yo, I don't know who they're gonna trot out there. I don't know who are they got out because they don't have a lot of people that talk. And this is no disrespect; these are just the facts. If you get mad at facts, then that's an insecurity. This is not disrespect. If you call facts disrespect, then that's just insecurity of your own. This is just the facts. Outside of Terrence Tucker, and I think the SC Bulldog report, outside of Terrence Tucker and Blitz City Podcast, Mr. Kobe Orr, who was there in the building, you don't get much out of South Carolina State when it comes to these here interwebs, this here internet, these here podcasts and talks and all kind. You don't get much out of South Carolina State. You just don't. And that's not disrespect to them. That's just the facts. And so that's why I'm here to give a platform to anybody, JSU but specifically the South Carolina State fans, to tell me why this game will be different than the 8 games that you lost last year. That's not to say that it won't. That's not to say that I believe that it won't be, that this season won't be different than last year, that this game won't set the tone for another potential MEAC championship, that this game won't set the tone for a potential Celebration Bowl appearance, for this game won't set the tone for a potential Celebration Bowl victory. I just need to hear it because it's not just South Carolina State that has this issue. Most of the schools in the MEAC have this issue. Like that is why HBCU Nightly is vital to the MEAC. They don't get covered. They don't get clicks. People don't tap in for real. Like people say that they love these schools, but they don't really tap in with these schools like they should. And so that is why South Carolina, as much as Jackson State will be a mystery because they have a new staff, because they have new coaches, because they have new players, because they have a whole new aura of a program, South Carolina State's a mystery as well, just for different reasons. These country bros. They don't get internet in Orangeburg. They don't get internet in Orangeburg, South Carolina. Come on, man. The MEAC is irrelevant. And I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that the MEAC is irrelevant. It's just that SWAC fan bases seem to care more. Now, that hasn't affected the results on the field. Let's not get it twisted. That has not affected the results on the field because in Celebration Bowl, the MEAC reigned supreme. And in this game, this MEAC SWAC challenge, the MEAC reigned supreme. What's going on? You're on with Jeff. Hello.
Jeff, how you doing, brother?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. What's on your mind?
Good. This is Diallo from Ohio, man. Keep doing your thing. Represent. We appreciate your content.
I appreciate you.
Listen, man, I think this is going to be an entertaining game on so many levels because I call this the game of mystery because we don't know what we go get. You know, South Carolina State shocked the world 2 years ago and upset, you know, the highly favored Jackson State Tigers in the Celebration Bowl. And then last year, as you just stated, they came back and had a really horrible season last year by their own standards.
Yeah.
When you bring back your quarterback, you bring back the offensive line, and you go 3-8, that's just unacceptable. And that's not indicative of Buddy Pough and what he's done in the past. But I was disappointed in their season last year. And we all know the turnover and the new staff, the new coaches, the new players with Jackson State. However, I think one thing that we have to be aware of, and that's not looking into the kid, what's the kid that quarterback for South Carolina State?
Corey Fields.
If he was one of those guys that, you know, was consistent and was lighting up the scoreboard and doing things that was impressive, then I think if I was a JSU fan, I would be worried. But when you look at the game he had in the first half of the Celebration Bowl was mediocre to bad, and then the campaign last year wasn't that good, and he had probably the best receiver in all of HBCU football.
Yes.
And now he has a bunch of new guys. So I wouldn't be that concerned. I think the one thing that TC Taylor and the Tigers have that South Carolina State doesn't have, they have a defensive line that is just vicious. The linebacking core, I think, is going to be a little drop-off in play when you lose guys like Aubrey Miller. The secondary, I think, will be a slight drop-off, even though you have Guthrie, who's a HBCU All-American. But I think that defensive line is going to put so much pressure on the quarterback and shut down their running game, where it's going to provide opportunities for the offense to make big plays on the field, because I think it's going to be a lot of 3-and-outs for South Carolina State because of the pressure that Jackson State will get with their front four. My prediction is Jackson State 24, South Carolina State 10.
24-10. Hey, man, love that breakdown. Love that analysis, man. Appreciate you calling in.
Absolutely, man.
Hey, appreciate it. No, that was awesome. I mean, those are great things. Corey Fields, he's basically saying Corey Fields doesn't scare me if I'm Jackson State. And it's okay to think like that, because when you bring back a guy that went 3-8 last year, he don't scare a lot of people initially. That's not to say that he can't bounce back this year, but just based off what I saw last year, he doesn't scare me. And that Jackson State defensive line is something to take note of. What's going on here with Jeff?
Listen, can the Sonic Boom play a full game in Atlanta this year? Can the Sonic Boom at least play a full game in Atlanta this year?
What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Tell for the backstory, for the people that don't know.
So listen, back in 21 in the Celebration Bowl, the Sonic Boom stopped playing after halftime. They are playing, you ain't heard no boom. All you heard was the cymbals crashing a little bit and somebody playing a triangle. I heard somebody had like a little towel bit over there ringing one time, a little bit over there. Then last year, they played one time when Travis scored to tie the game, but after they was over. Can Atlanta, this is a question, can the Sonic Boom play a full game in Atlanta? That's all I want to know, Jill. Can they play in Atlanta this year? That's all I ask. That's all I ask. Thank you.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Now, part of what he's saying is, well, at least if we go back to the 2021 game, you stop playing because you stop scoring. You know, it's like you hear the phrase, start the band, get the band ready, warm up the band, because the band plays when you score touchdowns. And when you score touchdowns at HBCU games, as anybody who's in this chat that would know, they play loud and they go hard and they'll really do it up. But if you ain't scoring no points, you ain't gonna hear nothing. Or if you getting the hell beat out of you, you ain't gonna be hearing too much of nothing. We got a couple hundred people in here. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button. If you want to get in here, the number is on the screen, 727-731-8723, 727-731-8723. We talked about quarterback matchups. Now, another thing about JSU is, what will the quarterback situation look like? I think, if you're just asking me, I think the starting quarterback will be Jason Brown. I think Coach TC Taylor, Coach Harris, and those guys will trot out Jason Brown to start the game. I could be wrong, but I think he'll be the starter. What does he look like? Jason Brown has been in college for a long time. He's a sixth-year guy, but hasn't been a starter in like 3 years. And so what will he look like after not being a starter in a real game for several years? And he's only got 1 year to prove it. What does he look like in this 1 year as the starting quarterback for JSU after transferring from South Carolina and Virginia Tech? He's played at some major high-profile programs. He's played at South Carolina in the SEC. He's played at Virginia Tech in the ACC. He's played at these places. He was an FCS, a big-time FCS player before going to those programs. So what will he look like if he's the starting guy? If it's Jacobian Morgan, he's a guy who started games at Syracuse in the ACC. What does he look like? What will he look like in his first game as the starting quarterback, potentially, at Jackson State? These are things that matter. So you've got all the coaching experience. You've got all the quarterback experience. You've got the history on South Carolina State side. The history being the history of this game. The MEAC has dominated this game. The MEAC has dominated in games against the SWAC. Just recently, I mean, this just is what it is. We got to call a spade for whatever reason, whether it's the time off, whether it's being more physical, whether it's just having better teams, better players, whatever. But then you think about what the caller said. Corey Fields struggled when he had Shaq Davis, who's making noise with the New Orleans Saints. What is he going to look like with no Shaq Davis? Who are going to be the guys that step up? Is there another type of Shaq Davis player on South Carolina State that we just don't know about? You know, all of these things matter. All of these things will have you wondering. All of these things have to go into consideration. If you got a rebuttal, let me know. The number's on the screen, 727-731-8723, 727-731-8723. I cannot wait for this game. You know, just my thoughts. Let's give my 2 cents. This game is going to be, honestly, this game is going to set the tone for both conferences. You know, because both Jackson State and South Carolina State have like real legit chances to end up back in the Celebration Bowl. Both South Carolina State and Jackson State both believe they will end up back in the Celebration Bowl. Both Jackson State and South Carolina State, really, it's Celebration Bowl or bust for both of these teams. Now, South Carolina State isn't a favorite in the MEAC. They were picked to finish third behind both Howard and North Carolina Central. Jackson State was picked to finish third or tied for third behind both FAMU, Southern, and tied for third with Alcorn. So both of these teams, they're not at the bottom of their conference, but they're not at the tippity top. They're not teams that people are saying are going to be trash or below the pack, but they're not picking them at the top of the pack. It's right there in the middle. They've got multiple well, for South Carolina State, it's dead set in the middle. You only got 6 football playing teams. And then for Jackson State, it's like, we expect the drop-off. Jackson State has not lost a conference game. They haven't lost a regular season game in a long time. They went all of last year they haven't lost a regular season game since 2021. They haven't lost a regular season game since 2021. And that was against an FBS opponent. That was against an Louisiana Monroe. They haven't lost a regular season game since then. They lost to South Carolina State in the Celebration Bowl that year, but that's a postseason game. They went all last year undefeated in conference, undefeated throughout the whole season, the regular season, and then lost to North Carolina Central in an overtime game in the Celebration Bowl. So, you know, it's going to be, he's being forced out. I don't think so. I don't think he's being forced out. I think he's run its course. 22 years, 8 MEAC championships, 3 Black College National Championships. He deserves his flowers. I don't think he's being forced out at all. I could be wrong, but I just don't think that. South Carolina State has short field to score from turnovers. But turnovers are a part of the game. Turnovers are a part of the game. That's the beauty of the game. That's the beauty of the game. You can't predict turnovers for the most part. And when turnovers happen, it's up to you and your team to capitalize on said turnovers. It's up to you and your team to make something happen when those turnovers happen. It's up to you and your team to make the turnovers count. Yeah, you can have a turnover, but if you don't score off the turnover, what's the point? There's no point of having it. Man, oh man, I cannot wait, man. This is going to be a legendary matchup. We're only going to be here for a few more minutes. I'm going to look at some of your comments. There's the number on the screen, 727-731-8723, 727-731-8723 if you want to get in here. JSU quarterback. So, yeah, that's what we're talking about. The JSU quarterback that I think they'll trot out there first is Jason Brown. And Coach T.C. Taylor has already come out and said that there won't be like this QB carousel going on all year. There won't be this QB carousel going on all throughout the game. We got one guy. We're going to stick with one guy. And I think that guy that they're going to stick with is Jason Brown, because I think this year Jackson State wants to really push the ball down the field. That tempo offense, tempo. And I think they want to take shots down the field. Jason Brown, his forte, what he's known for both in college and in high school, was having a really strong arm. He's got a really strong arm. He can really push that thing down the field for Coach Maurice Harris in this offense, for this high-paced, high-tempo offense. What is that going to look like? We've talked about it already, but what does that look like? And Shaq Davis did do some damage to that JSU secondary. Now, what I also want to know is, will the physicality of the MEAC show up once again, or can Jackson State match up with them physically? Now, we've known in some of these SWAC MEAC games, whether it's the Celebration Bowl or the challenge at the beginning of the season, the MEAC has been able to push SWAC schools around. JSU specifically in their last 2 matchups against MEAC schools, both the previous 2 Celebration Bowls, they got pushed around. They scored a lot of points in this last Celebration Bowl, but Davius Richard, Mookie Collier, and those guys in North Carolina Central pushed JSU around. They were the bullies. Bullies get bullied around there, and they were the bullies. Back in the 21 Celebration Bowl, South Carolina State hit JSU in the mouth and pushed them around. They didn't do nothing pretty. They didn't do nothing flashy. I saw someone in the chat earlier say, they just run left, run right, play action. Well, that run left, run right, play action works when you hitting somebody in the freaking mouth. You ain't got to get cute. You don't have to get fancy. You don't have to go show all this glitz and glamour. You don't have to do all this, all these smoke screens and show all this flash to try to, all this misdirection to try to get you. No, we line it up, put a hat on a hat, and smash mouth football. But Coach T.C. Taylor came from the MEAC. Coach T.C. Taylor coached in the MEAC. Coach T.C. Taylor has been in MEAC games. He knows what that style of ball is like. You don't think it was a push around when you had Mookie Collier stiff arming dudes and they feet getting off the ground? You didn't think it was a push around when Davius Richard had 150 rushing yards or however many rushing yards he had? It was just smash mouth football. Now don't get it twisted. JSU was able to score points. Now I'm not saying JSU was able to strike fast and hit big plays and score points with Travis and Kevin Coleman and those guys. But when North Carolina Central was on offense, they pushed them boys around. Now JSU can say, hey, a lot of our defensive guys, specifically defensive linemen, were out that game. You had Niles Gaddy, who was serving a weird suspension. You had a bunch of guys hit the portal right after the announcement was made for Deion. You had a bunch of different things. So I'm not going to take that away from you. But let's not act like North Carolina Central didn't control the line of scrimmage. Let's not say the line of scrimmage, they control. Yeah, the score, there was a close game. I'm not saying you got I'm not saying you got blown out. You got pushed around, though. It was a very physical game on the side of North Carolina Central. How physical will Jackson State be this game? We saw how they poured into the defense. We saw how many resources they used on getting more physical on defense. You bring in a coach like Coach Bradley from Alcorn. Coach Bradley, who is a defensive lineman. Coach Bradley, who has taught really, really good defenses. When you bring a guy like him in, you plan on being a very, very physical team. You plan on being the bully. The offense is going to be fast. The offense is going to score a lot of points, or that is the plan, to be fast, to score a lot of points. That defense is there, getting all those defensive linemen that you went out and got during recruiting, grabbing those guys. You plan on hitting dudes in the mouth on defense. What's going on? You're on with Jeff.
Carpenter.
What's going on? What's on your mind?
What's up? I ain't spoken to you since that day.
I know, man. It's been a minute. What's on your mind?
It's game time now. You know, even though Deion prime time left, I still got love for our people. But I'm excited to see them at 4:30 today. I can't wait.
Absolutely. What you think?
Especially that wide receiver.
What you think is going to look like?
Well, based off that spring game, I seen number 1 was out there riding first play of the game.
Yeah.
That long bomb, I remember that. And they had J.D. Martin out there, number 8. He's still out there holding it down.
Yeah.
So I know I'm excited to see what that offense looks like. I know they got a numerous amount of talent on defense, but I'm just excited to see them come down.
Yeah, so you were someone that thought, do you still feel like that they don't respect the previous.
They're going to go
regime?
12. They have potential. Yeah, they potential to go 12-0, and they have that worth to be 93. You said 6-6.
6-6
for
okay.
Colorado. Yeah. I was that guy.
You still think
I'm still riding with it.
Real quick, yeah. You still think Colorado gonna go 12-0?
Yeah, I got $50 against Coach Hayes the whole season on Colorado. So yeah, believe that. But yeah, man, I still love just because one man don't shut the show down. I mean, we gotta show our young adults how it's supposed to be done. Because if we don't do that, then they learn from us. And I'm an '84 baby.
I got you, man. I got you. Well. Just before we get you out of here, I need a score prediction, man. Anybody that's calling in, I'm getting a score prediction for the MEAC SWAC Challenge.
To be honest, I don't know, man. It'd probably be maybe. I know Jackson will score at least 3 touchdowns. I know that for a fact because they was too ready on that first play of the game. He hit that pop fly to number 1, so they're comfortable with throwing the ball clearly. And J.D. Martin's he's coming back from. He should be even harder, especially when Javion Wickerson is gone. So he's the main key on that offense. That quarterback position, I mean, they got 2 good quarterbacks. I don't know. We'll see how he plays. That's why I'm calling in, man. We got to see. It's going to be a good game.
I got you, man. I appreciate you calling in.
Or try to say it's not going to be a good game. It's going to be a good exposure on how the new Jackson State looks.
Yeah, it will. It absolutely will. This will be a time for them to showcase their ability and what they're all about, man.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I mean, I'll call back if anybody need to be educated, but I'm gonna be on watching this game at 4:30. That's what I'm waiting for because Notre Dame look like they blowing Navy out 35-0. Man, I'm tired of watching this game now.
Yeah, I got you, man. Well, I appreciate you calling in, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime, Jeff. All right.
Hey, no doubt, appreciate it. Yeah, man. So it's going to be, man. We are in for a treat. The MEAC SWAC Challenge 2023, Jackson State versus South Carolina State. You got any more calls? I'll take them before I get out of here. But before we do, hit that thumbs up button, by the way. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Victory Formation Sports Show. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. 28-27 who? 28-27 who? Who do you think is going to win the game? 28-27 who? Who do you think will win the game? We've got the MEAC SWAC Challenge and Buddy Pough and the South Carolina State Bulldogs taking on TC Taylor and the Jackson State Tigers. This is the MEAC SWAC. This is week 0. This is kicking off the new season. This is kicking off. We got some South Carolina State fans in the building. They think the Bulldogs are coming to play. They say the Bulldogs are coming to play. They say the Bulldogs are coming to make something happen. They're not coming here. They didn't come to Atlanta just to go to Magic City. They didn't come to Atlanta to get the lemon pepper Lou wings. They came to Atlanta to get a dub. Both teams. Who leaves with the dub? Who leaves with the win? Who is it? Revenge for JSU for what took place back in 2021, or does the MEAC continue to reign supreme over the SWAC? That is what we'll get to see. That is why it's so intriguing. That is why everybody's tapped in. You got a coach that is coaching his first game ever as a head football coach, and a coach that is coaching his last first game of the season, and a guy that's about to retire in Coach Buddy Pough. You've got all the experience in the world as a coach over the last 20 years on South Carolina State's sideline. You got the new, young, hip, fast JSU, new look JSU that's hip, that's young, that's turned. Who's going to come out on top? What's going on? You're on with Jeff. What's going on? You're on with Jeff.
How you doing, Jeff? This is Martin.
Man. What's going on, Martin?
I'd just like to say that I'm so excited that we've come to the time where now we can finally see the Jackson State football team compete on the field. There's been a lot of talking about what we're not going to be able to do. But I just want everybody to sit back and watch. I want you to sit back and watch the improvements that we've made. I want you to sit back and watch everybody on the coaching staff be able to make the adjustments that the staff last year wasn't able to do. And I just want to say, Jeff, that win, lose, or draw, it's going to be always and forever.
I love Jackson State University. And that's all I got to say, Jeff.
Well, I appreciate you, Brother Martin. I appreciate it as always, Brother Martin. Man, as you see, my microphone just kind of exploded over here. I don't know what's going on. But, man, Martin's tapped in. We're tapped in. We're all locked and loaded. Before we get out of here, South Carolina, I like it. I like it. JSU versus the SWAC Coalition. I like it. I like it. What is that? I'm reading the comments. I was coming too fast. It said it'll be interesting just to know how many people are watching this game to see how this team does under TC compared to the team last year under Coach Sanders. No, it'll be a great amount of people that are tapped in. A lot of them will be tapped in specifically just to see TC lose. Like, do you hear me? There is a lot of people that will be tapped in just to see TC lose. This is not the 50s. Jason Brown about to fold up like origami. It is game day, guys. We are about under 3 hours away. We are literally under 3 hours away from finally seeing the 2023 version of Jackson State and seeing the 2023 version of South Carolina State. It is going to be amazing. It is week 0. This game is on ABC. For those who don't know, so let me go ahead and show you guys. This game is on ABC. It's on the ESPN family of networks. I know some of y'all, don't feel good about ESPN having SWAC. I get it. Okay, we don't have to go down that road. But teams are ready. You see, I didn't see this. Now, I don't want to show too much of it because, they'll hit me with a copyright strike. But TC Taylor was on SportsCenter with my good friend, Stan Everett. I didn't know it. That's TC Taylor right there. I don't want to say, Stan Everett, a good alpha man, a MEAC guy. Stan Everett went to Howard. He's a good brother from Howard. They remember this game. I don't want to show too much of it because I don't want to get a copyright strike. This is the broadcast team for today's game. You've got Tiffany Green and Jay Walker. They always hold it down. Harry Lyles and Quint Kesich. This is what do y'all think about the good broadcast team? Y'all know Jay Walker. He love him some MEAC. He's a MEAC guy. He's a Howard guy. He's going to be holding it down in the broadcast booth. Tiffany Green, a pro of a pro. You hear me? Tiffany Green is one of the best in the building. She is a pro. She's a pro's pro. TC. Y'all are funny, man. Y'all are funny. This is the game that you don't want to miss. This game, I think I was saying it earlier. This game is really going to set the tone for both conferences. As I was saying earlier, the reason why is because both of these teams have aspirations of winning their conference. This is going to be the first look at two of the better teams in each conference. This is going to be a first look. So for FAMU, a team that's the favorite to win the SWAC, a team that has to see Jackson State next week, this is going to be your first look at what the new age Jackson State looks like. Same with South Carolina State. What's going on? You're on with Jeff.
Nick Bone.
What's going on, Nick? What's on your mind?
Man. Was that just Martin Luther King calling in? Lord, today. Man, I just called in. I'm ready for this game. I done worked a hard shift. Man, I'm so excited because guess what? You got that boy TC Taylor coming in. He ain't got nothing on his name. When he go undefeated this season, guess what? They can't say nothing.
So you think he's going undefeated this year?
I don't see why not.
My boy. What makes you so confident that JSU will go undefeated this year?
What makes me so confident is that they almost went undefeated last year, right? But I feel like all the hiccups of Dion leaving, all the speculation caused them, to have a few delays. But to make it short, I'm gonna check out of here. TC, I'm just ready to see it. I'm ready to see this new Jackson State team, man.
Before you get out of here, give me your score prediction. You gotta have a score prediction before you log off.
I'm going 27-20, Jackson State.
Hey, that's a realistic score, man. I appreciate you calling in.
All right, man. Thank y'all.
No problem. Tiff is a rattler. Tiffany Green is a rattler. This is gonna be a heck of a game, man. And it's beautiful. I love that this game kicks off the HBCU schedule, and it's two teams that are really fighting for conference championships, 2 teams that we could very much see match up again in the Celebration Bowl. You know, you got to remember, South Carolina State, they only won 3 games last year, but one of their 3 wins was against North Carolina Central, who beat Jackson State in the Celebration Bowl. North Carolina Central only had 1 loss in conference. That conference loss was to South Carolina State. That conference loss was to Coach Buddy Pough. That conference loss was to these Bulldogs. And so these Bulldogs aren't just they gonna show up to play. They ain't just gonna hand Jackson a victory. They are going to show up and show out. What Jackson State is able to do is going to be interesting. Will the Bulldogs have enough on offense? We know that they're going to bring a defense. We know they're going to have hard hitters. We know they're going to have sound tacklers. We know they're going to be well coached and be well prepared. Will they be able to score enough points? Has Corey Fields taken that next step? Is Corey Fields the right guy? Do they have to play someone else? Will we see a change in quarterback outside of Corey Fields? All of these are legit questions for South Carolina State. Who's QB1 at JSU? What will this new look JSU offense? Can this defense at JSU be as high regard as people are putting them? Are they as good as people think that they are with the guys that they brought in and the guys that they had stay? South Carolina State's losses were to FBS opponents. They had tougher competition. That's fair to say. That's fair to say. 50-7 JSU. Y'all said last year. I mean, hey, it is going to be interesting. Couldn't be 2 better teams. Miracle Sports, I completely agree with you. This is the perfect matchup for multiple reasons. This is the perfect matchup besides the fact that it's a rematch from 2021. Besides the fact that it's the last game for Buddy Pough, or first game, the last game to start his final season. Besides it's the first game ever for TC Taylor. Besides it has all the storylines going into it. For the simple fact that these are 2 really talented football teams. That's why it's going to be great. Jason Brown will start. JSU will end up. You think they'll use 3? You think South Carolina? So if Jackson State uses 3 quarterbacks in this game, it's because South Carolina State is giving them problems. If they end up using 3 quarterbacks, it's because Buddy Pough and that South Carolina State defense is giving them the blues. You don't use 3 quarterbacks when great things are happening. You end up using 3 quarterbacks, and if one team is giving you the blues. If a team is giving you problems, that's why the 3 quarterbacks will come into play. And continue to look at some more of these comments and get to some more of these calls, and then I'll get up out of here and we all can start getting ready. I gotta get my what's on the grill for the game? What's coming out the liquor cabinet for the game? What's going on with Jeff?
Larry.
What's going on, Larry? What's on your mind?
I know you're talking about the offense and defense. What about the special teams? They the one gonna start the game off there. Just elaborate a little bit on the special teams there.
Yeah, so the special teams, that's going to, because once again, South Carolina State, I feel like their whole team is a mystery, but they seem to typically have pretty good special teams. JSU specialists are all new, right? I'm interested to see what Seven McGee looks like returning kicks. I'm interested to see what the new kicker looks like, because we know at times during Black college football, kicking can be an issue. Kicking sometimes for some programs, no matter what level you're on, can be an issue. Kicking can also be an asset and win you games. They can lose you games, but they can also win you games. So special teams is something that'll be interested as well.
Yeah, I'll get another question. You're gonna be live streaming that because I'm up here in Minneapolis.
Mm-hmm.
I want to you're gonna have a live stream going on this evening?
No, not during the game. I'm gonna be tapped in watching the game. It's on ABC, so everybody can pretty much watch it.
Oh.
I may come on here and talk about it after. I might do a live stream after the game. If not directly after, I'll do one tomorrow or Monday reacting to the game, because this game's going to have a reaction. It's the biggest game in college football to me this week, so I'm going to be talking about it for sure.
All right. Thank you to be back this season.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for tapping in. Appreciate you calling in. Now, that was also, yes, deer sausage. I've never had deer sausage ever in my life. I might have to, that might be something to look into. Deer sausage and ribs. Now, I'm always good for some good ribs. But what's the point of having deer sausage if you're going to have ribs? Most people have like pork alternatives. But if you got ribs, then you got the pork. Me, I'm gonna have some good Woodford. I'm gonna have me a nice little glass, sitting over, tapped in, watching this game. A good glass of Woodford with tapped in at 7:30 on ABC. Hopefully, we got the grill fired up. We'll have some good ribs on. Deer ribs is good. Okay, it's the bomb. Okay. I've never had deer ribs. See, y'all be putting me on, man. Y'all see, I'm from Kentucky. It's kind of the South, but y'all from the real South. So y'all be putting me on the stuff that I really don't be know. Yeah, you can't be wrong. I'm not from the real South. Like, I know that there is a difference between like Kentucky. Kentucky is considered South by like Midwesterners and Northern people. But I'm from Kentucky. We don't eat a lot of deer sausage. But when I go down to Mississippi and Alabama, that's the real South. Even you can consider Texas some more the South. Kentucky ain't really the South. It's like we like fake South. We like South cousins. We kind of fake. So deer sausage just new to me. It's so good. Yeah, y'all put me on, man. Y'all put me on because I ain't never had deer sausage ever in life. This is Ed. Why you don't hear someone? So yeah, man. This game. SWAC MEAC challenge or MEAC SWAC. I always say SWAC MEAC challenge. I don't know why. It just sounds better to me. SWAC MEAC challenge. It's technically the MEAC SWAC challenge. The MEAC SWAC challenge. 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central. Buddy Pough, TC Taylor, Jackson State, South Carolina State. The two of the biggest brands in HBCU football. Two great programs. All going down in Atlanta. If you're in Atlanta, say what's up to each other. I cannot wait. Hit that thumbs up button, guys. Thank you, guys. Before we get out of here, Kentucky way up north. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Kentucky. But if I talk to somebody from New York, they'll say Kentucky South. They'll say Kentucky's country. They'll say Kentucky South. I talk to somebody from the real South, like you, Kentucky's up north. That's funny to me. Like, I'm just saying. Deer is beef, lean meat, good stuff. Okay, see, y'all put me on. Y'all put me on, man. 14 years of losing before prime, which is JSU. Okay, see, like these are shout out to Deputy Mario, man. So yeah, man, I cannot wait. Before we get out of here, first of all, hit that thumbs up button for me. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that thumbs up button. Also, put in the chat. Phone lines will be open for a couple more minutes, but put in the chat your score predictions. Who do you think wins this game and why? Drop the score predictions in the chat right now. And then before I get out of here, I will, of course, because I ain't no punk, I will, of course, put my score prediction as well. But drop your score predictions in the chat. We've got 38-14 JSU. We've got one score. I've seen a few of them already, but this is a JSU supporter, 38-14. That's a lot of points. That's a lot of points for a new look offense with a new quarterback. Not to say that's not possible. It's very much possible, but that is a lot of points. 27-24 JSU, a close game. You think this is a nail biter. If it's that score, how our last caller was talking, special teams will be key in that. Special teams will be key if that score. 37-12 South Carolina State, I'm assuming. 37, you think South Carolina State can score 37 points on this JSU defense? That's a lot of points. I'm not saying that it won't happen. JSU losing by at least 21 points. Ooh, I think South Carolina State's going to beat them down like it. 24-21 SC State. 37-12 South Carolina State. 34-14 JSU. South Carolina State 30, JSU 14. We got a lot of South Carolina State fans in the building. 33-17 JSU. OBC travelers, check the weather. Oh yeah, be careful. Any severe weather, be careful out there. JSU 35-6. Y'all think 23-20 JSU. 24-13 JSU. It is so. If we don't have any more calls, it doesn't look like we do. We've got a bunch of score predictions. Here's how I think this game will go. I could be totally off because, like I said, to me, South Carolina State is a complete mystery. They don't post much on social media. There aren't many people that cover their team. My boy Kobe Orr, Blitz City Podcast, has been there. He's the only person, him and Tuck are the only two people that I've seen consistently cover that school. The two people that I've seen consistently talk about this school and consistently put out content regarding them. And so based off that, just based off what I've seen, I think South Carolina State has a ton to prove. They're coming out on a mission this year. They're coming to prove that last year was a fluke. that the 3-8 season was an admiration, and I have faith and they have enough track record, enough cachet built up to say, I believe you. I believe last year was an admiration. I believe that you will come back and are a better team. I believe that you will look like more of a representation of your program this season than last year. I also believe in what Jackson State has going on. I believe in Coach TC Taylor. I think he'll do a good job. I think he'll be able to use his experience from the MEAC to have a good season and have a good coaching career. I think Coach Chris Harris is a difference maker. Maurice Harris. I said Chris Harris. I'm sorry. Coach Maurice Harris is the key, because I think Coach Maurice Harris's offense, coming from Liberty, coming from Ole Miss, being a Hugh Freeze disciple. Hugh Freeze is someone that's had a ton of success in college football. Ole Miss, Liberty, now he's at Auburn. I think that offense, an offense that has given a ton of big-time programs problems, an offense that has seen guys get drafted high in the NFL draft, whether it was at Ole Miss, whether it was at Liberty. They saw a lot of dudes come out of that offense to make things happen. Because of that, I think JSU will be able to score. I think South Carolina, the strength of JSU this year will be their defense, but they'll have a very unique, high-powered offense. The strength of South Carolina State every year is their defense. And so the strength of South Carolina State, their defense, versus this new high-powered offense that JSU will be bringing in is the thing to watch. And you have to weigh in the factor that this is Coach Buddy Pugh's final season. This is the first game of his final season. You don't think his players are going to be prepared to go to war for him? Their coach, first game of the season, national TV, Jackson State. They see the tweets. They see the YouTube comments. They see the fans going at it. You don't think they see that? No, they see that. With all that said, I think this is a good one. I think we get a 28-24 victory for the SWAC and JSU. Y'all know I got to ride with the SWAC and JSU. 28-24. Jason Brown, I think, has his coming out party for the SWAC. I think Jason Brown introduces himself to the SWAC. Seven McGee introduces himself to the SWAC. Corey Fields in South Carolina State, I think they'll be able to score this year. I think last year was an admiration. So that's why I'm saying they scored 24 points. But I do think this JSU team, with this new head coach, TC Taylor, an offensive guy, he was a quarterback and wide receiver in college, an offensive coach in a Maurice Harris, will just be too much for South Carolina State. 28-24 Jackson State. That's what I think. We'll find out in just about 2 hours and some change. My name is Jeff Lightsy Jr. This is the Victory Formation Sports Show right here on Jeff Lightsy Jr. YouTube, Facebook, wherever you get your content. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button before you get out of here. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys for tuning in. Also, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at JLightsy7. That is on Instagram and Twitter at JLightsy7. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, I'll see you next time. Peace.